So for 3.5, we're discussing patterns and lines, and there's only one thing on this page we're going to fill out, and it's page 6, where it says, what's the purpose of using an equation? Well, the purpose of using an equation is to help you find answers. So this whole problem on this page has been talking about how far a ship has traveled. Well, if you know how fast it's going and you want to know how far it's gone after 14 hours, you don't want to have to manually figure that out by adding over and over and over again. So you can utilize an equation to help you. So looking at the second page and starting where it says page 15, every line on the Cartesian coordinate system can be defined by an equation. And the equation allows you to find the location of any point on the line. So what that's saying is that if I have a line, well, this point I can get from the equation. I can get this point, this point, this point. All these points that are on the line, I can actually get them from the equation. And a linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line. So looking at the bottom, it says then when we have an equation, our equation is always going to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. M is our slope. And our slope determines a lot about our line. It determines whether our line is steep or flat, so if it's really steep or if it's kind of flat. It also determines whether the line points up or the line points down. And that right there, the up and down, depend on if the line is positive or negative. So if the number of the slope is positive, the line is going to go up from left to right. And if the number is negative, then this line is going to go down from left to right. So it asked me to write the equation for each of these lines shown below. Well, I would honestly use stat edit to do this. So what you do is you go to stat edit, and that's going to give you a table that says L1, L2, and probably L3. In L1, you're going to be putting your x's, and L2, you're going to be putting your y's. Now, if you notice on this graph, they technically only gave you 1 point. They gave you the ordered pair 2, 2. So that's going to go in our table. However, even though it doesn't give you another point specifically, you should notice that this does go through the origin, and the origin is the ordered pair 0, 0. So that's going to give us our second set of numbers in this particular function. So once we get that in stat edit, we go back to stat, we go over to calculate at the top, and we go down to number 4. And number 4 says reg, which is linear regression, and that's telling the calculator to give us the equation of a line. So you're going to go through the steps, you're going to go down to where it says calculate, and then it's going to give you this. Y equals ax plus b. It's going to give you a equals 1. And b equals 0. So that means our equation for this line is y equals 1x plus 0. So looking at number 2, we're going to solve it the same way. So we're going to use stat edit. And in stat, we have L1, L2, and L3. My first point that I'm given is 1, negative 4. And as before, this goes through 0, 0, so I can put that in as well. And then we go back to stat, over to calculate, number 4, which says reg, and hit enter until you get to calculate. And the equation of this is going to be y equals negative 4x plus 0. So number 1, same things. We're going to go through stat edit and put them in there. When I put it in stat edit, in L1, I'm going to have 2 and 0, and in L2 I'll have 4 and 0. Make sure they're in that order. And it's going to give you the equation y equals 2x plus 0. Number 3 is going to give you the equation y equals negative 3x plus 0. Number 5, when you put it in stat edit, is going to give you y equals negative 1/2 x plus 0. Number 7, this one's going to be a little trickier because we've got different numbers here. It's not 0, 0, but thankfully they gave you both of the numbers. So in L1, we're going to put 4 and 0. In L2, we're going to put 5 and 1. And once you go to stat edit, it's going to give you for A, it's going to give you 1. And for b, it's going to give you 1. So your equation is going to be y equals 1x plus 1. For number 9, when you put that in stat edit, for in L1, you're going to put 6 and 2. In L2, you're going to put 9 and 5. When you plug it in A, it's going to give you 1. And in B, it's going to give you 3. So the equation is y equals 1x plus 3.